The wild has its secrets. Some are cool, full of wonder, others are creepy, wrapped in mystery. This story is definitely the latter. It's about a hiker who just vanished, like poof, gone. A story that whispers of the unknown. It's a case straight out of the chilling reality of people going missing in the wild. These aren't just stories, they're real. They remind us how powerful nature can be, and the mysteries that still hang around in the shadows. This story is one of those chilling reminders. It's about Jake, a hiker who went into the wild and never came back. Stick with me as we dive into Jake's unsettling disappearance. We'll look at what happened leading up to his last known moments, and we'll check out the search efforts and the baffling lack of answers. Get ready, because this journey will take us into the heart of a mystery that still haunts us. Jake was an experienced hiker. He loved the wilderness. He felt at peace in the solitude of nature. He was drawn to the challenge of conquering a mountain trail. He relished the reward of breathtaking views. He had been planning this hike for weeks. He was eager to escape the city's noise and reconnect with the wild.
I packed my backpack with care. I checked my map, compass, and supplies. I felt a surge of excitement as I set off on the trail. The forest welcomed me with open arms. Sunlight dappled through the leaves. Birds sang their cheerful melodies. The air was crisp and clean. The trail wound its way through dense woods. I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I was alone but not afraid. I was confident in my abilities. I was familiar with the area. I had hiked this trail many times before, but this time, something felt different. There was an unsettling silence in the air. It was as if the forest was holding its breath, as if it was waiting for something to happen.
As the day wore on, the trail became less familiar. The markers grew scarce.
I realized with a jolt that I was lost. I checked my map again, my heart pounding in my chest. I had strayed from the marked path. I was deep in the woods, surrounded by towering trees. The sunlight was fading, casting long shadows on the forest floor. I tried to retrace my steps, but the path seemed to twist and turn on itself. Panic began to set in. I called out for help, but my voice was swallowed by the dense trees. I pulled out my phone, but there was no signal. I was alone, lost in the wilderness as darkness descended. Fear gnawed at the edges of my composure. I pressed on, hoping to find a familiar landmark. I stumbled through the undergrowth, my anxiety mounting. The forest seemed to close in around me, its silence now a menacing presence. I felt a growing sense of dread. I was being watched, I was sure of it. But by what?
The forest grew darker, the shadows deepened.
My heart pounded in my chest. I felt a cold shiver run down my spine. I was sure I was being followed. I could hear the snapping of twigs, the rustling of leaves, but every time I turned, there was nothing there. I quickened my pace, my breath catching in my throat. I could feel my fear rising. It was an irrational fear, a primal instinct. The forest felt different now, hostile, menacing. I felt a presence lurking in the shadows, watching me, toying with me. I stumbled over a fallen log, my flashlight flying from my grasp. Darkness enveloped me. I scrambled to find it, my hands trembling. I felt a surge of panic. I was alone in the dark, surrounded by the unknown. I felt a cold breath on my neck. I spun around, my heart leaping into my throat. There was nothing there, but I knew I was not alone.
The last message, a cry for help, unanswered.
Fumbling for his phone, he dialed 911, his fingers shaking. He held his breath as the phone rang, but there was no answer, only the static of a dead zone. He tried again and again, but the result was the same. Cut off from the outside world, trapped in a nightmare, he sent a text message to his friend, his heart pounding in his chest. Lost. Help, he typed, his hands trembling. He waited for a reply, but none came. He tried again, but the message wouldn't send. His phone was useless. He felt a wave of despair wash over him. Alone, lost, and forgotten, he slumped against a tree, his body trembling with exhaustion and fear. The forest seemed to press in around him. The darkness felt suffocating. He knew he had to keep moving. He had to find a way out, but where could he go? What could he do? He was lost in a maze of shadows and fear.
The search begins, unraveling the mystery.
Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Jake was gone, vanished without a trace. We launched a massive search and rescue operation, scouring the forest, following every lead. We used helicopters, dogs, and teams of experienced searchers. But Jake was nowhere to be found. His disappearance baffled everyone. He was an experienced hiker, well-equipped and familiar with the area. How could he have simply vanished? The search teams found no sign of him. No footprints, no clothing, no backpack. It was as if he had been swallowed by the earth. The investigation continued, but the mystery deepened. Jake's last known location was traced to his phone's GPS data. but the signal ended abruptly in a remote area of the forest. What happened to Jake? Where did he go? The questions lingered, unanswered.
Whispers in the wind, theories and speculations.
In the absence of evidence, theories began to circulate. Some suggested that Jake had fallen victim to a wild animal attack, but there were no signs of a struggle, no blood, no torn clothing. Others speculated that he had become disoriented and succumbed to the elements. But Jake was an experienced hiker, well prepared for the wilderness. Some whispered of darker possibilities. They spoke of ancient legends and mysterious disappearances in the area. They hinted at the presence of something unknown, something sinister lurking in the shadows. These theories were dismissed by the authorities, but they lingered in the minds of many. The mystery of Jake's disappearance remained unsolved. The forest held its secrets close, refusing to reveal its truth. The case went cold, but the questions lingered. What happened to Jake?
The search for Jake was eventually called off. The case remained open, but the hope of finding him dwindled with each passing day. His family and friends were left with a gaping hole in their lives. The pain of his absence lingered, a constant reminder of the mystery that remained unsolved. The forest, once a place of peace and solitude, now held a sinister air. It had swallowed Jake whole, leaving no trace of his passing. It stood as a silent sentinel, guarding its secrets. The case of the missing hiker became another statistic, another unsolved mystery in the annals of the unexplained. The questions remained unanswered. Why did Jake stray from the trail? What happened to him in those final moments? Was he a victim of a tragic accident, a cruel act of nature, or something more sinister? The answers, it seemed, were lost in the whispering wind, hidden in the shadows of the forest. Jake's story serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk in the wilderness. Nature can be unpredictable, unforgiving. Even experienced hikers can fall victim to its capricious whims. It is essential to be prepared, to be aware of the risks, and to respect the power of the wild. Getting lost is a real danger, especially in dense forests. Trails can be poorly marked, terrain can be treacherous. It is crucial to have a map, a compass, and the knowledge to use them. Weather can change quickly in the mountains. Temperatures can plummet, storms can roll in without warning. Proper clothing and shelter are essential for survival. Wildlife encounters can be dangerous. Animals can be unpredictable, especially when they feel threatened. It is important to be aware of your surroundings, to make noise while hiking, and to carry bear spray as a precaution. Panic can be your worst enemy. It can cloud your judgment, lead you to make rash decisions. Staying calm and thinking clearly can be the difference between life and death. While these legends are often dismissed as folklore, they continue to fascinate and intrigue us. They tap into our primal fear of the unknown, reminding us that there are still mysteries in the world that defy explanation. The human mind craves answers, but sometimes the answers remain elusive, hidden in the shadows of the forest. Some cultures believe that forests are home to spirits, both benevolent and malevolent. These spirits are said to guard the wilderness, protecting it from those who would do it harm. Others speak of mythical creatures like Bigfoot or the Yeti, said to roam the remote corners of the earth, leaving behind tantalizing glimpses of their existence. Throughout history, forests have been associated with mystery and folklore. Tales of strange creatures, unexplained phenomena, and mysterious disappearances have been passed down through generations. These legends often serve as cautionary tales, reminding us of the unknown that lurks beyond the familiar. The story of Jake, the lost hiker, is a haunting reminder of the mysteries that still linger in the world. It is a story that speaks of the power of nature, the fragility of human life, and the enduring allure of the unknown. It is a story that leaves us with more questions than answers. Did Jake lose his way and succumb to the elements? Was he the victim of a tragic accident, or did something more sinister befall him in the shadowy depths of the forest? The answers remain elusive, hidden in the whispering wind and the rustling leaves. The case of the lost hiker serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us to respect the wilderness, to be prepared for its dangers, and to acknowledge the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. It is a story that will continue to haunt us, whispering of the unknown and the unanswered questions that linger in the shadows of the forest.